As someone who doesn't really have time to play games, I like if something's not like a 9 or a 10, I very rarely go out and play it unless I'm streaming it or making content or something like that.
But how would you know if it's a 9 or a 10 if you don't play it?
Normally I just watch reviews and listen to recommendations.
I don't know if you've heard of a thing called IGN. But
obviously, I go on a thing called a Metacritic. Obviously, the most trustable source.
So basically, the only game Garnt has ever played is Ocarina of Time.
It is a light novel though as well, so that might get you into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue.
Never shut the fuck up.
There's a lot of dialogue.
It's really weird because it's like it takes me a lot to get into a game. Sometimes it's like I've tried to really like narrow down what my taste in video games is, and the more I think about it, the more I'm just like I have no idea. Because like okay, so like with Final Fantasy 14, for example, like so I was playing that like a little here and there during like during when I was ill, right? And I remember literally yesterday, right? We were in the lift and I turned to Joey. I'm like, Joey, gotta be honest with you, started Final Fantasy 14, right? But you don't need to worry, Joey. I'm like, it's not addicting at all. Like I'm like I've played it. I've stopped myself. I'm good. I'm good. Right?
I shook his hand and everything too.
Yeah, he shook my hand. And then I went home and I'm just like, I don't really have anything to do. Maybe I'll just because the thing is, it's just a nice comfort game for me to like zone out and just tap buttons. And then so I boot it up, and then I get into like my first like big boss battle, like big raid. And then I remember finishing the raid. I was like, oh no, that was really fun. That was really fucking fun.
I need you to. I want to take back that handshake I gave you that night because I thought we had like established something. You know, there was a trust that was formed there, and he just ripped it away.
I was just like, oh, I really want to continue playing now. I look at the clock. I'm like, it's midnight. We got a trash taste recording in the morning. I'm like, I can go for another 2 hours. I go another hour or two. I can squeeze. How much sleep do I need? And like, because here's the thing. I never really got into MMOs, right? And I never went through a phase where I got addicted to RuneScape.
RuneCraft.
I was going to say RuneCraft then. RuneScape or WoW or whatever like that. So this is like my first proper MMO, and like I wasn't really into it because I thought like I didn't really enjoy the gameplay because like the battle system for Final Fantasy, especially at the beginning, was like really fucking basic. It's like just point at something and tap a button and do like a basic 3-hit combo, and then that's it. And I was like, I'm here for the story. I'm gonna stick here for the story. But then I experienced the first raid. I was like, that was pretty damn fun. And I'm scared for myself now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had the experience of just having a moment in a game and just having like this. I guess like it felt like an ember had been lit. Just like I want to experience that again.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like MMOs are a lot like quicksand, where it's like the more you try to quit, the more you just get sucked in.
I mean, I'm glad I got it out of me when I was like 14, 15.
Same.
I don't really have an urge to play MMOs at all.
Me neither.
Yeah, I mean, like, what did you guys find addicting about MMOs when you got into it?
I think the number one thing that got me addicted, which I'm glad you haven't experienced yet, per se, is when you have like a large group of friends that you see often who also play it.
Okay.
Where it's just like I had like a group of like 3 or 4 mates like during the RuneScape era and like the Maple Story era that I could just like ring up on Skype and just be like, all right, so sesh for like 7 hours, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. And then you just play it while you're in a conversation, and it's the best way to kill time. But at the same time, it's like you finish that 7-hour session and you're like, what have I just done?
Yeah, I think it's a game where like the goals, or for me at least, felt like they were, there's never a never-ending supply of goals.
Yeah.
Whereas in like a game, like, I don't know, if I do the campaign in a COD or something, it's like, I'm done in 10 hours.
Yeah.
But in RuneScape, it just like never ended. And every time I hit a milestone, I got more cool quests I could do. And I thought, wow, that's so sick. Oh, I got this really badass item. Okay. And so like every time you're grinding towards something, you always just kind of unlock these cool things that were just enough serotonin boost to keep you being like invested a lot.
And then even when you finish through like all those side quests, for example, you see one player that just walks past your player and you go, I want what he has. Yeah. How do I get that? And then now your quest is to be that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You would
it just never ends. Yeah.
Right.
And then also, like, I don't know if you can do this in Final Fantasy, but in RuneScape, you could lose like all your stuff.
Really?
Yeah, you could just lose all your
RuneScape. By dying.
Yeah, by getting
By
killed.
dying?
In the
Oh,
wilderness
okay.
or dying.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've died a fuck ton. I've lost nothing. So thank God.
See, there you go. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that
I know, I
pussy MMO.
I feel,
Holding your hand.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to get into like RuneScape or WoW then, because like one of the big factors I feel like into video games is like I need a reason to keep playing, and most of that reason is storyline. Like gameplay loop, a lot of the time that's not enough of a reason to keep me invested in the game for like long term. Having said that, you're thinking about the mates thing. Like when I was doing this boss battle, I was like, I wonder how fun this would be with friends to do it at the same time.
You're gonna be that guy where like Garnt can't join us today because he has a raid or something.
Yeah. He has an event raid that's only available during these hours. Yeah. Oh god.
But yeah, I mean, this is I guess the start of I don't know what. Yeah, it just maybe I might stream it. Who knows?
You know how before you were saying that like viewers of Trash Taste could tell when we record these episodes based on my hair?
Yeah.
Now they're going to be able to tell based on the size of his eye bags that are going to be forming from endless nights of Final Fantasy 14. It's like oh man, they're like this far down now. It's like you finished 3 raids, Garnt.
I think I also stay away from them because my little brother was like addicted to World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Right.
And I could like just see how much he would play it. And to like no avail.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of it, he was just like, "Yeah, it wasn't that fun." After like years of playing.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's like every fucking League player or like Overwatch player that invests way too much time into this one game, and of course, what do you have to show for it? Well, I reached Diamond. I reached.
Yeah, usually what you have to show for it can be summed up in one sentence.
Yeah.
It's like, it was fun.
Why is it that playing like 100 games for 10 hours is like seen as okay, but playing one game for 1,000 hours is like no?
Double standards, right?
What society?
We live in a society.
That's fucked up. We live in a society. That ain't right.
I don't know. I just feel like there are just so many games nowadays that are available, even if like you have nothing to, even if you feel like you have nothing to play or no big releases have come out, then you just go through your fucking Steam library, right? My Steam library is like my.
God, I've not touched my Steam library. Like I think that's what I think to myself, right? I'm like, okay, so I just finished this game.
Yeah.
When I finished 13 Sentinels, for example,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. I finished that game. Fuck, now what do I want to play? Normally people would be like, oh, I have like 300 games in my Steam that I haven't even like installed at all. Nope. Instead, I go to the PlayStation Store, I download Persona 3 Nocturne, and I was like, yeah, let's play this. And now I'm just playing that.
Oh my god.
See, I would rather have one game that I'm really into than 100 games that I mildly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like to me, like Pokemon Arceus, for example, it seems like kind of fun, but it doesn't seem like a game that I could like properly like throw myself into. It's weird for me because I'd rather be like fully invested in just like emotionally invested in one like a few things.
Why Final Fantasy? Why did that get you emotionally?
Because I heard from every person who fucking talks about Final Fantasy that has a good story, and
Because to be fair, as much as
I heard about like NFTs are great if you just listen to NFT people. So that's if you're asking addicts why something's great, it's probably not a good. Like, did you talk to people who played it and didn't like it?
Well, okay.
There's the catch. Everyone who's played it has said it's a good game.
No,
it's just like, for example, like when I played the trial when it first came out, I'll admit it's a great fucking game. But I like used 100% of my brain power to be like, I know it's a fun game, brain, but you're not going to play it.
I feel like if you're only talking to people who are into it, they seem to all like it. Yeah, because they're into it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Everyone, at least around me, that I know that has or is playing 14 has said nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, I feel like there are some people who are like maybe people who are, for example, addicted to League or addicted to Overwatch, where they're like, no, just don't get into it. It is not a you don't have fun with this game.
Yeah, but that's because you're in every game has its life graph, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is just in its infancy compared to League. We have like 15 years 10 plus years of League of don't do it. We know. Time has proven us. History has taught us.
Well, 14 at this rate might also get to that point.
Yeah. Look. I don't know if this will be a poorly aged thing, but I'm in for the story, and once I do the story, I won't really have any other reason to continue playing it for. That's the catch-22,
Grant.
Right?
They're always coming out with another expansion. It doesn't end.
Well, is
there microtransactions in it?
Is it?
I haven't seen any.
Is it microtransactions for expansion?
Well, for costumes, yeah. Like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a Japanese game. Of course, there's
yeah.
microtransactions.
But like from what I understand, you pay for like any new expansion, which is basically like another part of the storyline. So, and
I mean, WoW was the same as well, right?
What?
You had to pay for expansions.
WoW's a subscription
You pay
service,
monthly.
right?
Yeah, it was a monthly plus you had to pay for
Yeah.
expansions, right? Yeah.
and now you have to pay for coins for something. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know too much about the MMO world.
That's why I play gacha, where I can choose to put money in. It's not a requirement.
It's like the cancer cell fighting the AIDS cell at this point. You know what's better than MMOs?
Who will win?
Gacha games.
everyone's into that Lost Ark, now, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's into Lost Ark.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I'm too scared to ask. At this point.
I've seen a lot of my friends play it on stream, and I'm like, okay, that looks fun, but I'm right now I'm into Heaven
Yeah.
Burns Red, so I'm just
Yeah.
playing that. I'm in it for the story.